Hi friends, so it's Wednesday morning and I have little Perez here. He has been soaking in jet black hair dye, the hair dye that has chemicals in it. He has been soaked in this hair dye since Sunday. Now what I've been doing in the intervening period is to use the paintbrush once a day at least to work that hair dye into his skin. I spend at least 20 minutes doing that, just turning him over and making sure every part of his body is continuously soaked with the hair dye. So I don't just put him in the bowl and leave him there for a few days. At least once a day I'll come to him and use the paintbrush to work that hair dye into his skin. So that's what I've been doing between Sunday and today. And this morning what I've done now is to use a coffee rinse to rinse off the hair dye. So basically I made a strong cup of coffee with lukewarm water. I poured the coffee over him, and as he's had that contact with water, I've used a paintbrush to wipe him down with this coffee water, and the hair dye has been coming off. So I just did that for about 15 to 20 minutes, both back and front, and the hair dye has been coming off. And he's got this nice light caramel colour. Not quite the colour that I want him to be, which is, mixed race, but he's on the journey towards that. So now that I've done that, whilst I've been doing that, I've been removing all the hair dye that may have got trapped under his double chin here and any other groove. I use the paintbrush to continuously work at those areas to get rid of any blotchy part or any hair dye stuck in the creases of his skin, so you get the result that you want. Once you've done that, then it's time for the next stage, which is the coffee and tea soak. So I'll just get him out of this bowl. I didn't rinse him out with plain water. I decided not to do that because I didn't do that in the first video that I did with Italia. So we just want to still have that chemical on his skin, the residue of the chemical to still remain on his skin. And then I'm going to put him in a coffee and tea soak, which I'll leave him in there for another day or so. Okay guys, so I've got here the potion that I've made. So I've used 5 heaped teaspoons of coffee. I drink decaf, but any coffee will do. And then I've put 5 tea bags in here, and I've used warm water from the tap. It can be hot water, warm water. I've used lukewarm just to be on the safe side. So I've put this mixture together, and as you can see, it's very dark. The darker the better. If you want to experiment with more than 5 teaspoons of coffee, you can, but I've decided to use 5 because this was about the same amount I used for my other silicone doll, Italia, the video of which is on YouTube. Now Italia is only 10 inches and Perez, the doll that I'm doing right now, is 14 inches. Obviously, the bigger the doll, the stronger the mixture. but I think I've got a nice good deep brown colour here. So I'm going to go and pour it over him. So he's in the mixture now, and I'm using the tea bags to squeeze this mixture on him. So obviously you can see that his back is getting a good soak in, his front isn't. So what I'm going to do later on, I'm going to turn him over so his front gets as good as a soaking as his back. This is what I'm going to do throughout today. At intervals, I'm going to just come and just squeeze the mixture over him like that. Turn him over, maybe 2 or 3 times during the day. As long as I'm looking after him, not neglecting him, I'm sure he's going to come out a nice, light, mixed race colour that I desire. So if you just leave him lying there all day long and never turn, no, he might get a bit blotchy in some areas, maybe too dark, maybe we'll get some blotchiness. So it's good to check on him. And I did take his eyes out when I started because I didn't want his eyes to get damaged. So do take the eyes out of your doll. Take any coffee that's stuck in there out. Okay guys, so I'm going to come back to you when he's ready. So Perez has been in the coffee and tea mixture since around 9 o'clock in the morning today, and it is right now just gone 7 p.m. So what I did about 15 minutes ago, I came and had a look at him, and I used the paintbrush to work the tea and coffee mixture into his skin. I didn't rinse him off at all. I just used the mixture that I'd soaked him in and just went over him again to make sure that as much as that mixture got into his skin. After that, I got some cocoa powder, sprinkled it all over him, and using the coffee and tea water that was still in the bowl, I poured a lot of the coffee and tea water away because I needed this to be a paste. I didn't want it to be watery, so I did pour a lot of the coffee and tea mixture away. I left a little bit there, then I sprinkled the cocoa powder over him, and I dipped the paintbrush into the coffee and tea mixture that I'd left there, and I used it to paint all over Perez. This is his final stage of his journey to become darker, and as you can see, he's looking good. So I work this over him with the paintbrush, the front side and the back, and I'm going to leave him overnight in this. Fingers crossed tomorrow I will be able to give him a nice good rinse. He hasn't had any rinse at all since he started this journey to getting darker skin. So he started off with the hair dye for a couple of days. Then since morning he's been in the coffee and tea mixture. I've been working it into his skin. And I spent about 20 minutes working that coffee and tea mixture into his skin when I had a look at him about maybe an hour ago. I worked it into his skin. I went and sat down, had the rest, and I came back again. So now He's just gonna rest overnight, and I'm hoping for the best outcome. Hello, friends. It's been 24 hours since I soaked little Perez in a mixture of cocoa powder, coffee and tea. I'm in the middle right now of rinsing off this mixture off his body to see the final result. So I've just been starting on his head, been using cold water from the tap. So I'll just continue to do that, and I'll be back with you in a minute to show you what he looks like. Different to how he looked when I first got him. So he has got a nice light mixed race tone here. For now, I'm happy with him. I'm going to add some hair to his head by hair rooting. Put in his original eyes. Get him dressed. And I'll let you see how he looks.